Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. I'm just getting everything together. Hope everybody's had a nice Thursday morning. Welcome in. Tony, welcome in. Corey, James, Express, Kurt. Welcome in, everybody. Han Solo, Prince Killjoy. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody has had a nice Wednesday and is ready for our Thursday action today. Wednesday's action was quite terrible, in my opinion. Not price action was bad. Price action actually was not bad yesterday's session. It was just the news. We kept getting these crazy wonky candles throughout the day, and it just became very clear pretty early on in the session that it was going to be a mostly news-oriented day, and that's what it was. If you guys kind of recall what happened yesterday, it was just back and forth news throughout the day. White House kept announcing stuff. We had some major speakers. We had Bissent speaking yesterday, and he caused a lot of upside and downside. And then you had Trump saying something else completely different. So you had a lot of like flip flopping back and forth. A lot of news was not even real, right? It was just kind of he said, she said action yesterday. It's really quite terrible price action. Not price action, but terrible news impacting price. So we have a lot to go over this morning. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market. I want to make sure I can see the chat. For some reason, I can't see it, but I should be able to see it now. Yeah, I can see it now. Perfect. Okay. Welcome. We have about 700 people in here this morning in the pre-market, which is good. And we can jump into it. So today's session, we're going to talk a lot about SPY. Yesterday's session, what did it do? We were pretty clear yesterday, I think, kind of what our mindset was. Our mindset and approach to the market yesterday was look for longs, right? Look for longs, but at demand. We did not want to be buying longs up in supply. We wanted to be looking for longs back at demand, and that was the issue yesterday. The issue was we sat in supply for so long yesterday. We saw a supply rejection come in off of the 545 level, and we saw us then find support here down below at demand. So if you were not patient yesterday, you probably had a hard time. The reason why, of course, is because this is the thing is are you trading at 12 o'clock, right? Because for me, most days I'm not trading at 12 o'clock. So why would I be sitting around 12 o'clock trading the market yesterday? Well, it's because the market never pulled back to my levels. So that's sort of what happened yesterday's session. It was unfortunate that it took so long for it to pull back. Obviously, the demand held up perfectly, ended up being the best possible long trade yesterday. Was where I went long, and that was a good play yesterday. Now, today's session, we're going to talk about what we can do. Can we trade off the same level? Can we look for the 5400 ES reclaim? Can we look for the 530 level as demand today? So some big levels to talk about. We're going to go over everything, and I want to dive into it. So let's create a structured game plan. I want to just talk about what we're going to go over. So ES, obviously, we'll talk about the ES level, 5400. We'll talk about the QQQ level. The 453 level was big yesterday's session. We're going to go over that today. We'll go over Tesla. We'll talk about NVIDIA, Tesla 260, very big level Tesla. We'll talk about NVIDIA, NVIDIA 100, demand below. We're going to talk about Amazon. Amazon's still in that little bull flag on the 1 hour time frame. This is a very nice bull flag. A very nice downtrend breakout, now turning into a bull flag above the breakout level. So we're going to talk about Amazon today because Amazon, I think, is something we should all have on the watch today. We're also going to take a look at AMD. We'll talk about AMD holding above 90. This is a really good hold here in AMD. Even though I'm not bullish on AMD, I think this chart itself is actually quite nice. So we'll go over that here as well. We'll talk about SMH. We'll go over AVGO. We'll go over a few other tickers you guys are watching as well. Maybe Apple, Meta, the big names as well to finish off the stream. So today's session obviously is okay. Let's load this. My Twitter is not loading, but we'll go back to the second. Let's do econ data first, then we'll dive back into Twitter. So on the economic docket for today's session is about jobless claims 8:30, which has already come out. We also have existing home sales 10 o'clock. That's all we have today. So keep that in mind. Jobless claims 8:30. It's already been out 8 minutes ago. Then obviously the new home sales 10 o'clock. That's all we have on the docket for today's session. Now tomorrow, Friday, we have consumer sentiment 10 o'clock. It should be a pretty relaxed Thursday and Friday in terms of economic data, which in my opinion is good because the past few days have been very, very aggressive news all over the place, headlines all over the place, economic data kind of at 9:45, 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I think today's session is going to be hopefully a breath of fresh air because there's going to be nothing too crazy on the docket. Fancy, thank you very much, Fancy. It's very nice of you. Very, very kind of you. You also donated yesterday, so that's very, very kind of you. You absolutely did not have to do that, but that is very, very nice of you. Thank you very much, Fancy. Okay, so on the economic docket, obviously that's been finished. On the earnings reports, if it loads, if it's not, it doesn't matter. We don't even need this, to be honest with you. We already know there's nothing really left on the earnings docket. We will discuss the earnings docket tomorrow session. We'll go over next week's earnings. There's nothing on the earnings side. The big names have already reported. Tesla already reported. And going forward, we just have mostly airline names. So not even worth our time. Let's go over to the charts. Okay, so in recap of yesterday's session, we spoke about what? We said this. We said we do not really want to be, even though the market's gapping up over some big levels, we do not want to be long off the open until we get some sort of pullback in the market. Now, yesterday's session, we sat in range for quite a long time. And if you sit in a range for a long time, you're going to do something. And I'll tell you what I did yesterday, because in the pre-markets, I will discuss trades we're watching. I also discussed a little bit about my trading, because it's good that everyone sees it too, because I'll show you the mistake I made yesterday. I actually went long the market into this candle right here, this 542.5 level, went long right there on SPY. And I sold about 2 minutes later at break even, or about minus $5 per contract. The question becomes, why was I trading something here between a level and a level, right? Even 7 years into trading, I would still make mistakes like this, right? I would still make the same mistake that I made 7 years ago. I would still make it sometimes even today, right? And if you can catch these mistakes that you make and move on to the next trade, you will catch the far better opportunities that do present themselves. Because again, why was I trading between a level and a level, right? If you're sandwiched between levels, why are you trading it, right? And that was something I quickly realized while I was in the trade, thankfully. I was like, what am I seeing here, right? Like, obviously, I'm seeing a little bit of an intraday trend here, trying to catch an intraday trend. But reality is, this is not a high-quality trade. A high-quality trade would have been what? What we spoke about yesterday's session, which was what? Which was the pullback long to demand. And that was precisely what I did. I said, you know what? Let's look for calls at 535. Do you guys see this? This thing keeps bouncing. I don't know why it keeps bouncing. Let's close this out. Why is it doing that? It's so annoying. Anyway, so the 535 was the pullback long yesterday, right? And this was exactly what we spoke about. We pulled it precisely back to 535. It gave a long opportunity there. I did not long it there. Where I went long on this chart was actually right here on this candle. I'll show you exactly where I went long. It was right here. It was right there. And this reclaiming move, the break and reclaim move, was the long opportunity. I caught the move from here all the way to here, and that was my day yesterday's session, right? It was actually quite a nice day. And reality was, it actually was not difficult price action. It was just sitting in a range for a little bit of time at the early morning session. We broke out of that range. You could have caught the downside, which worked out really well. Or you could have waited for upside, waited for a demand hold to come in long demand. That was the day yesterday. By no means was yesterday bad price action. It was just range the first 30, 40, really the first 3 hours of the open. And that, if you sort of understood that and waited for your levels, then you probably had a far better experience. Now, today's session, what does this mean? What does it mean? Well, the same level that we spoke about yesterday as demand, 535 technical demand, is still demand this morning. We must respect that. The reason why is 535 is still important today is because it's also that ES 5400. 5400 ES is the level to watch. If we are above this level, we are holding bullish and looking for upside. Even if we're above 530 today, we're still bullish. The market yesterday's session pulled back, right? We pulled back after a gap up. By no means do we sort of miscategorize this as a bearish move. Why would we consider this bearish, right? I understand that we are rejecting supply here. I see supply. There was some short-term put plays yesterday. Yes, there absolutely was. By no means am I discrediting shorts off of resistance. But we must still understand that we are still above some major levels here. And if we can pull back to 530 today, that's a pullback long right there. 530 pullback long is still tactical demand. And as long as we're above 530, we could look for longs. That's the first play. So 530 pullback long. Really 529 because it's still that Tuesday high. A Tuesday high is still important today. So Tuesday high, 529. Also 530 as tactical demand. If we can pull back to that area today, this zone right here between that little Tuesday high area, the Thursday consolidation, that breakdown level on Wednesday, the high of that Friday, April 11, This is a long. This is a long right here. I would look for longs at 530. Likewise, if we continue holding 5400 today, it's possible, and this is a possible scenario today, is if we continue holding the same spot that we went long off of yesterday, this little reversion point from yesterday's session, this 5400 ES or 535 SPY, it's possible we don't even see 530 today, right? It's possible we see a little bit of this happening, right? A little bit of retention here at 5400, and we just see upside back into 545. That's also a very logical scenario. So if I'm trading today on SPY, I'm watching for two things. I'm watching to see, one, are we holding above 535? Yes, look for longs back into 541, back into 545. That's a good play today. The second play I'm looking for today is I'm looking for a pullback long here, 530. If we pull back to 530, this is still a long opportunity, and I can look for longs back into 5400 and potentially beyond. Again, that's a second long opportunity. What changes things? This is what would change things. If we break below 530, here's the thing. If we break below 530, if 530 gets broken, really 529, this high over here. If we do a little bit of a break and retest under 530, 529, this, in my opinion, is a structural change in the market in which we don't look for longs anymore. We probably go back into 520. We very, very likely will go back into 520. So again, if we lose 529, that's a short. But as long as we're holding 529, 530, we're mostly looking for longs. But the question is, until where? Hey, if you guys paid attention yesterday, until here, right? Until 545. You don't really want to be long into 545. You guys know, yesterday we talked about this, is we don't want to be long back into resistance. These are some major resistance points. Major what? Major channel highs. So if you're trading off 5400, trading off 530, trading demand, looking for continuation moves, trading trend moves back into highs, well, you want to only do that until these highs over here, because 545 is still technical resistance and we don't know if we're going to break it or not. If we break 545, we should see 549. But again, 549 is colossal supply. We don't want to be long back into colossal supply. Very key levels today on the SPY chart. And it's really nothing different from yesterday. Everything fundamentally that we said yesterday is the same as it is today's session. If you traded that idea yesterday, you made money. If you didn't, then you probably lost money. And that's the simple reality of it. Now, on the ES chart, we must still talk about the same level here, 5,400. 5,400 as still the level of resistance, and obviously returning into support pre-market. If we hold 5,400, we see a move back into 5,500. This is the level you do not want to be holding longs into, right? Very simply, let's just put it as simply as possible. You do not want to be holding longs into this level. That's it, right? No way to phrase it any differently. If we hold above 5,400 and we trend higher back into 55, you want to be selling your longs there, because again, this is still a technical resistance and we don't know if we're going to break it or not. If we break it, then obviously 55.30 next level. If we fail back below 5,400, which we are chopping around in the pre-market session this morning, then we should see a 53.39 pullback. 53.39 is the demand below. This is still demand for a long. If we lose this level, obviously, of course, this would be the equivalent of 530 SPY. If we lose this 530 SPY, or the equivalent, which is 53.39 ES, then downside comes in pretty aggressively. And this is a short. This is a short that we could all watch today. If we break below this level, this is going to be one of your top shorts today's session, under that 530 SPY, under 53.39 here ES chart. So very big levels here. And what I want to do is I want to move on to the QQQ chart, because of course, the same level yesterday's session. What did we say yesterday? We said, hey, the pullback long spot was 453. Look how perfectly this was yesterday. I mean, this, if you don't believe in technical analysis, this should tell you something. Go back to yesterday's session, listen to what we said about 453 yesterday. This was the exact low yesterday. This is also why I went long SPY yesterday. I went long SPY in demand because I understood that we were just a larger time frame upside move pulling back in a smaller time frame. Yesterday's session, we had a larger time frame upside, but then intraday we were selling off. We sold off right back into 453 demand. This was the long spot on Qs. If you were looking to go long on SPY, this could have been a extra layer of conviction, extra layer of confidence for your SPY trade. That's what it was for me. Now 453 is still holding as support. This morning, if we're above 453, we're still holding bullish here on the Qs. If we lose 453, here's the problem though. If we lose 453, we likely move back into that 447 area. 447 as a technical level of support. So again, the reason why 447 is still support is because 44750 is kind of the equivalent of that SPY 530. It's that Tuesday high, right? It's that Tuesday high before the crazy after hours move. So if we sometimes I'm typing fast, yeah, I type really fast, and sometimes it's really loud with this keyboard, but just bear with it. So anyway, 44750 Tuesday high, and then obviously it's also that Thursday high as well. So if we do fail below 453, I would expect this to go lower back into 44750. Again, this is your last defense for longs, right? This is your last defense for longs. And the same thing here in Qs is SPY 530, right? So we're looking at it. The levels this morning are very simple. 530 in SPY, 529 in SPY, still the last line of defense on the market. And Qs on the QQQ chart, it is 447.50 and 453, which in my opinion are both long spots today's session we could be focusing on. Okay, guys, so we have 1,300 people here in the live stream, and we have 370 likes. Let's get that up. I want to move over now to Tesla. We'll start off with the first ticker of the day, but let's get the likes up to 500. That would be a good goal for today's session. Yeah, people are already saying it. We have almost 1,300 people here. We have 300 likes. That's embarrassing. Let's get that higher. So on the Tesla chart, this is what I'm saying about yesterday's session. Yesterday's session by no means was not unreadable, right? It was readable. Look at what happened yesterday in Tesla. Tesla did what? It opened into supply. If you longed it into supply, you got smacked in the head with a textbook, right? One of those big textbooks, one of those like 600-page textbooks, you got slapped in the head with it. If you tried to short it back at demand lows, I would argue we were a little bit far from demand here. We were 444. It's not even a level to me. My level came in here at 442. But you can see it did hold. It did hold here though. You see something here. You see a little bit of a hold spot here, 440, 244.50, right? And I want to add that in. And sometimes you see these things and I see it now, right? I didn't see it before. You can see it. It was that Thursday high, well after hours high, the opening bell high here Thursday session. And what did we do yesterday? We ran right into it, right? And if you tried to short this move here at 244, right? Again, you got smacked in the head with the same 600-page textbook, and it ripped back into highs. And if you said, "Oh my God, I think Tesla's now going to break out. Tesla's going to break out now," you got slapped again. The same textbook, bam, 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 bam. The same levels are valid today. You do not want to be long back in 260 yet. If you want to go long on this chart, you want to be long probably here, back in demand, or you want to be long there. That's your long spot, nothing else, right? If the market does this today and starts saying, we're going to break out, and I want to go long on Tesla because we're going to break out, take those thoughts, X them out, walk away, come back to your computer, wait for this to happen, or wait for this to happen. That's your long spot, okay? For shorts, it's the same thing, right? You want to go short on Tesla, you want to go short really on Tesla under 240. That's it, okay? Under 240 is your major short spot. Or if you want to get aggressive, you could try for 260 failures. Again, this would be a potential failure point. I can see it logically. That's where we rejected off of yesterday. I don't really love this. If I'm a trader today, which I am a trader today, obviously, I would be looking for this, right? I would look for 240 failures or a 260 breakout. That's what I would be looking for personally. If you want to look for reversions, you're looking for a reversion here, you're looking for a reversion there. That's it. It's all you're doing today in Tesla's chart. Pretty simple chart that we can watch here on this Thursday morning. Okay. So let's move over to chips. I want to talk about chips first. So what did we say yesterday about NVIDIA? We said NVIDIA, nice structure, held above 100, right? We look for pullback longs to 100, right? And this, I think that the level is still valid today. If we can pull back to 100 all the way back to 99.7, 99.8, you can see that Tuesday high before the after hours move. It also was that Thursday low, and almost perfectly that Wednesday, April 16 low. If we can pull back this 100 level, I think it's still valid for a long entry, right? You can look for longs here at 100, right? That's still valid for a pullback long. Likewise, you can also look for a break and hold above 106. Those are the only trades I'm watching here on the NVIDIA chart. NVIDIA, here's the thing about NVIDIA, guys. If NVIDIA loses 97.50, we're not logging this anymore. We're looking for shorts back into 92.50. So this is how I would trade it. The only three scenarios I would be trading NVIDIA chart today. On the AMD chart, I can very clearly see there's a hold coming in here at 90. We also spoke about this potential hold yesterday session. We spoke about the Someone said, Shanice, do you have 291 as a level on Tesla? On Tesla, do I have 291? On Tesla, yeah, I do. 291 is a daily 200 SMA, Shanice. So that 291 level, very, very big level to watch out for in Tesla. Obviously, if we break above 260, we see 270. Above 270, 280. But again, this is the don't trade zone. And then above 280, upside there. That's what we're doing here. So yes, that's a big level here on Tesla. That's also the daily 200 SMA. Okay, back to AMD. On the AMD chart, we're watching 90. If we're above 90, we're holding bullish. That's it, okay? If we're above 90, we're holding bullish. If we lose 90, we're looking for bearish moves. So this is what you're doing. You're looking for longs at 90 or you're looking for shorts under 90. That's it. You're just trading the inflection point. Above it bullish, below it bearish. Let's move on. I want to talk about, well, actually, you know what? Where does it go to though? If it does this and zombie grinds higher, if it zombie grinds higher today, look for this to go back to the 96.50, which again is big supply. You do not want to be long on the AMD chart into 96.50 supply. Just my 2 cents. We've seen it happen once, twice, 3 times, how quickly it's gotten rejected. It looks like it's going to break out. Look at it. You can go back here for a second, or just look at what's going on here on the AMD chart. It looks like it's going to break out. It looks like it will. Wow. It looks like it's going to break, right? And then all of a sudden it does this. It gets slapped off that supply zone. So again, do not be long back into this 96.5 level. It's still resistance. If you're looking for longs, you're either longing back in demand here or you're longing above the supply zone for upside plays. That's all you're doing today on the AMD chart. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about AVGO. Then I want to go into the overall. I'm kind of going backwards here, but I want to go over AVGO first. AVGO, kind of just a status update here in AVGO's chart. It's still under 186.50, right? This obviously has to reclaim 186.50. This, in my opinion, is probably one of the only bearish chip names I've seen, right? It's under this major inflection point. I don't like it. In fact, I would be looking for shorts there. That's a very good short potential play here on AVGO's chart. 186.5 here, which is a daily 200 SMA, 184, 185, and also that double top highs coming in on the bear flag breakdown. So I would not be long AVGO, just looking at the chart right now from the 15-minute time frame. Okay, on the SMH, you can see there is something interesting here on the SMH, which I think we could all just take a moment to appreciate. What's interesting here to me on the SMH is this larger time frame trend. So you can see there's a very beautiful trend line here in the SMH, and it's been consolidating for a while. I think that chips, you're going to see some names begin to if the market begins a rally, which I don't know if we're going to see a rally yet, but if the market does give us upside, you're going to see some sectors stronger than others. And what is going to be outperforming the market, I think, will be chips, especially if chips break above this 205, right? 205 on the SMH, you can see very clear inflection point. It's a breakdown of a major trend line, and we can see some upside back into 246. And 246 would be our target here on the SMH. So it has not broken out yet, though. Let's make that clear. This chart has not broken out yet. If it can clear 205, that would be a breakout and upside play. If it fails 205 here again, then obviously it's still under the trend line, and we're just going to go right back down to 160. So let's see what happens here on the SMH. I think SMH is setting up for a move. That is why I went over chips today not first, but as a centerpiece of today's session, because I think chips may be interesting going into our Thursday and Friday sessions. Right, so let's move on, guys. I want to go over Meta. Why is it a no trade zone on Corey? Why is it a no trade zone? Corey, take a second to go to the 5-minute time frame on Tesla and see how it interacts with price action between 270 and 280. You're going to see why it's a no trade zone, right? It's a no trade zone because it's a very choppy area, right? So it's not something I want to be a part of, okay? On the Meta chart, I mean, to me, I see a lot of these names. A lot of these names are doing the same thing, right? Meta also same idea. It's almost at SMH. You can see a little bit of a downtrend here. Obviously, it's still downtrending, but double bottoming here, finding support at 500. What now must happen here on Meta? The same thing we spoke about yesterday's session is this has to clear above 537. I have no interest in trading Meta as long as it's under this 537 level. If it can clear 537, above this red zone here, that's where things become interesting, right? This is where things become interesting. If we can clear 537 and this resistance above us, right, we can look for upside and a play back into 554. Until then, I have no interest here, right? In fact, if it fails supply again, which it already is, right, then I would expect us to go back down to 500, which again is a question mark if it holds it or does not hold it. So where I'd be focusing on is I'd be saying this: I don't want to touch meta until it's above 537. If it does, that's your long opportunity today's session. Okay, guys. So it is 8:58 a.m. We just finished the bulk of our tickers. What I want you guys to do is type your tickers in the chat and I'll start going over them. We missed Amazon though. If you guys remember, we missed Amazon. Let's talk about Amazon. So Amazon, yesterday we spoke about the 180 pullback. We said, hey, strong move, right? One of the strongest outperforming names, breaking trend line. Amazon chart, one of the strongest names. Now today's session, I am still watching 180 as a pullback. Pullback long here, 180. 180 pullback long, right? Looking for longs there. Also looking for longs here at the 177. Those are the two things I'm watching here in Amazon's chart. The reason why I like Amazon, if the market's strong, I think this. Here's the idea, right? If the market is strong and SPY begins to hold, I think Amazon eventually does this, right? Goes back into 190 plus, right? That's where I think Amazon goes to. So with that information, I'm going to be looking to see if I can find a hold spot here at 180, if I can find a hold spot here at 177. Those are the two potential longs I'm watching here on Amazon's chart. Larger time frame, this is what I see is happening, right? I see a breakdown of trend. I see a triple, whatever, octo hold, whatever, penta hold here. I don't even know how many holds are here coming in demand. 165 holding is big demand. It's now above the 180, right? If we can look for longs at 180, I'm focusing on it today. If we can look for longs here at 177, I also would trade that today. So watching this for pullback longs on the Amazon chart, one of my top watches. Apple. Yes, I also missed Apple, absolutely. Apple chart, 200, right? If you're looking for Apple today, you're looking to see, does it set up a hold here, 200? Watch 200 for holds. The secondary play is going to be above 210. If it can clear 210, look for upside back at the 220. If Apple somehow gets under 200, there is no long opportunity and this goes back into 190. That's it. These are your three scenarios here in Apple. Either above 210, long trigger, upside back into 220, pull it back to 200. You see some longs setting up there, some confirmation, go long 200, stop 199, upside back into 206, or look for a breakdown under 199. Again, I'm kind of just going over ideas here. The level though, as we can see it, is simply what? It's simply 200. This is not a very clear chart. This is not a very high conviction chart. I think Amazon to me is more higher conviction. But if I were to trade this, I'd be watching to see how we respond to this level right in front of us. 200. If we're holding 200, bullish. If we lose 200, back bearish. Downside, move back into 190. Okay. Reading the chat now. Guys, type in the chat. I'm going over everything I see. I'm going to speed round. We're going to go like crackhead speed. So just keep that in mind. PLTR. Just take a second, just like moment of silence here in PLTR. I have to start trading PLTR. I have to do it, right? This is so nice. What did we say yesterday about PLTR? I mean, take a second, just appreciate the chart, appreciate the 5-minute time frame here in PLTR. Insanity, right? This is why I trade. If this doesn't make you happy, then you shouldn't be trading. If you look at a chart like this and you don't want to smile a little bit, you should not be trading, right? The reason why is because look how beautiful this technical hold was yesterday. 99 was your level, right? And what did it do yesterday? What kind of hold did it give you at 99? This is the exact level we spoke about. What more could you possibly have been looking for if you did not want to trade PLTR? Look at this, right? You see 98, hold, maintained above 99, pushed into 100, came back, retested that 99 level. This was your long opportunity. Upside all day. And not only that, but it gave you a secondary break and retest again here at 100. This was a very nice chart yesterday. Today's session, I would look for this. I would look for this to continue, right? If this can continue today, I would look for this to break and hold above 104. If it can clear 104, then we can look for upside back into 107. So again, 104 break and retest now. If you want to be sneaky with it, you can try again looking for longs back in demand. This is not as high conviction as it was previously. Yesterday was much better. Today, probably half as conviction, but still worthwhile to watch. Or you can watch the break and hold above 104, which I think is the better trade today's session. If you're looking for this to go, it should just go. Okay. I am not going speed round. I'm going way too slow. Let's move on. SOFI. Ooh. Okay. This was what's going on here. This is interesting. Okay. Bearish, bearish. Oh shit, what's going on here? Right? Is this the potential flip here on SOFI? Is SOFI flipping right now, right in front of us? This is interesting, okay? If you were bearish because we were bearish under this daily 200 SMA and 11.3, well, what are you now? By definition, you should be bullish, right? It's because we're now above the level. I think this, if we can hold here, this could be a nice long opportunity now. All right, look to see if we're holding 11.3. If we are, you can flip bias, look for longs back into where? Back into 12.8. If we 12.7. So if you're watching this chart here, look for this. Either longs to hold here. This is a good long play. If we fail back below 11.3, downside. But I would say arguably the long is still more valid now, right? Because we're above that 11.3. We can look for longs here at 11.3. Tim, thank you very much, Tim. That's very nice of you. Yes, I will take a look at Tim. Take a look at Google. Take a look at Google. Thank you, Tim. Google. On the Google chart, 161. If it can clear 161, you have 172. That's it. That's all we have here. Google obviously reports earnings in the after-hour session today, right? That's going to be important. Google, I didn't even realize that. I forgot about this. Forgot about this pre-market. But Google reports earnings in the after hours today. This is going to be big today. So watch Google if it can clear 161. I think this is a setup we should play post earnings though. We should not be playing this. Pre-earnings. If we can clear 161, you have an upside play back to 172. This again is a level you don't want to be long into though, because this is the daily 200 SMA. So let's see what happens post earnings here. If we see a gap up post earnings, we can use that 161 as a bounce. That's what I'd be looking for. If we see a gap down post earnings, we can look for a failure play here at 147. I think this upside play though is more interesting to me above that 161. Okay. So Netflix's chart, guys. Netflix. I mean, this is technical, right? This is a pure technical chart as well. Held 1,000, held 1025, is back at all. This is all-time highs here, right? I don't like that. Let's fix it properly. This is all-time highs, right? This is all-time highs. 1068, right? By no reason, we should not be long Netflix right now. In my opinion, if you're long shares, sure, sit in the shares. That's fine, right? But by no means should we be long on Netflix as long as we're under 1065 now. If you want to go long Netflix, look for longs back at 1,000, right? Longs back at 1,000, or look for longs there. That's it. Those are the only long plays we have here on Netflix's chart. Again, we're sitting at the all-time highs for your pre-market. This is not where you really want to be long into, because again, we may fail here. I'm not saying we're going to. By no means this is bearish though. This is not bearish. It's just an area we don't want to be long into. Wait for it to clear above 1064. If it does fail, then look for 1,000 for pullback longs. By no means are we bearish, but we don't want to be bullish here. We don't want to have bullish positions back into that resistance zone. Okay, guys, thank you all for joining in. We had a lot of people here this morning. If you trade with us, I'll see you all for live trading. If you don't, you know where the link is. The link is right in the description. I will see you guys all there. Thank you all for being here.